Hello readers, I'm the Avid Reader, and today we're reviewing Lest Darkness Fall, written by L. Sprague de Camp in 1941. So this book is seen as one of the pioneers in alternate history. I think it's Harry Turtledove's favorite book, and the plot is about an American who gets transported back to Rome in 535 during the time where you have the Byzantine Empire to their east, and at that time Rome was controlled by the Goths. So the story opens with Martin Padway in Mussolini's Rome. I think it's in about the late 30s, and during some big rainstorm he falls into a hole, he climbs back out of it again, it stopped raining. He suddenly notices the surroundings in Rome are different, they're no longer modern, and he starts to realize what has happened. He's not under a delusion, he's back in 6th century Rome, and this is right before the Dark Ages are about to begin. The title of the book, Lest Darkness Fall, is about preventing the Dark Ages from happening. And during that time, Rome and a large part of Italy is ruled by the Ostrogoths. In this kingdom, you have freedom of religion, but slavery and torture is acceptable. So he decides to set up a business making brandy. He does this by getting a loan from Tommasus, and he starts making these inventions in Rome that were developed 1,000 years later. So for example, he teaches his clerks Arabic numerals. He also creates an early form of the optical telegraph through using small telescopes. I did not really understand how it works, but it's quite clear that through this you can message people much faster now in Italy. He has developed some new products in Rome successfully now, but he also fails to develop some things. So he fails to make gunpowder and he fails to make some small clock. And he also predicts that this person may die then or get invaded. So people think he's a magician. So he gets arrested multiple times because of it. So the first time he talks himself out of it with bribes. The second time he tries to bribe them, they take his bribe and throw him in prison anyhow. And he manages to escape through saying he wants to paint the scenery, so they put him on the wall. He has made some word explosion contraption in the prison. He manages to escape from it, and he goes to the river, hides between the lily pads. He has had his face painted green so the guards don't notice him. And eventually he escapes back to his friends that he's made in Rome. And this guy, he's a historian, so he knows a lot of events in history. So he knows that the king of the Ostrogoths, Theodahad, is being overthrown, so he intercepts him before he's returning to Ravenna, warns him. There's a guy who's been sent to kill him. Padway kills that guy. He gets the support of a portion of the army, and they are fighting against Justinian and the Eastern Roman Empire, as the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantium, has attacked the Gothic kingdom. Martin Padway has been made quaestor, so he's basically the de facto leader now in a sense. He defeats the commander of the Eastern Roman imperial unit, who's called Belisarius, and that guy is captured, and Padway tries to make him change sides. Belisarius refuses. The guy who has overthrown Theodahad, Witigis, Martin Padway has collected a bunch of troops and goes to arrest him. So basically Theodahad has been reinstated as king, and Martin Padway is the de facto leader since this king here just wants to say in his books. Witigis was a warrior, Theodahad is a scholar. But eventually Witigis escapes. He wants to kill Theodahad, but he's killed himself instead. Martin Padway is grooming Witigis' nephew to become the successor of the king as he's turning slowly insane, and he's called Urias. Urias likes Martin Padway, so he's going to do what he wants. So as the king is becoming insane, they have to hold an election to elect a new king. On one side you have Urias, and then you have the son of the previous king, who's called Theodegiskil. And Theodegiskil starts making a bunch of lies of Urias, but then Padway sends a black slave child up to him and starts saying, "Daddy, daddy, daddy." So they humiliate the opponent of Urias, and Urias wins the election, becomes the new king. Theodegiskil goes south and starts a rebellion with his troops, and the war continues on. You have Urias who goes south. Belisarius has been dishonored by the Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian, so he has decided to change sides and become a general in Padway's army. They are fighting in southern Italy. They also have to worry about the north, about the barbarians attacking them. And in the battles between Goths and the Eastern Roman Empire, you get to see Padway has some good tactics, but sometimes these tactics go bad because the Goths are not disciplined. But eventually the Goths, with the help of Padway, defeat the army of Bloody John of the Eastern Roman Empire. Padway has freed the serfs, and he's trying to remake the system of the kingdom of Ostrogoths, and he's went to get married to a girl, but she rejects him because he freed her serfs and they burned down her house. And soon the Goths will be united as the current king of the Ostrogoths Urias, has been named the successor of another Gothic kingdom, so the Goths will be united now. And Padway has decided that he will go across the Atlantic to get tobacco. And that's the end of the story. How would I rate Lest Darkness Fall? This is a 10 out of 10. This is probably in my top 10 or top 5 favorite novels, and I interpret the ending of this book as Martin Padway successfully preventing the Dark Ages. He has also started a printing press, actually. Yeah, this is the gold standard of alternative history. I understand why Harry Turtletaub loves this book. It's short, it's concise, it doesn't drag on for too long, and it's really entertaining, but it doesn't feel rushed. It transpires over 1.5 years, over a couple hundred pages, and it's a fast read. An amazing book. This is my favorite alternative history book for now, I would say. Yeah, you should definitely read this book. Harry Turtletaub is my favorite author. He hasn't written anything as amazing as this book. You also get to see the culture of the time that Padway has been transported to. The 6th century. The fact that you had the Goths ruling Italy at the time. The fact that you have the Eastern Roman Empire or Byzantium attacking, and that those guys are not really good guys. And that the Goths are kind of benevolent rulers of Italy at the time, in a sense. So overall, an amazing book, 10 out of 10, definitely read it. If you like alternative history but you want a more sci-fi take on this genre, I would definitely recommend you to check out the World War series, which I reviewed here. It's by Harry Turtletaub and it's a great book series. I'm the Avid Reader, and I will see you next time.